Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Mayer, and I'm going to be leading music today with you, and it's great to be with you all. Thank you. I wanted to, invite you to sing on the chorus of this first song. Let me teach you how the chorus goes. It goes like this. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Let's try that. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. That's it. That'll come up several times, so please join in when it does. Spoke, entreating them to live together in a great circle of love. And when his followers asked him then who should be included, Jesus said, let everybody, everybody, everybody in the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Oligarchs and tyrants try to keep some in, everyone else outside, till revolution sweeps across the land and the people all stand. The common folk cry, let everybody, everybody in the circles. Everybody, everybody, everybody in circle, circle. Sometimes a circle is a class or creed. Sometimes a circle is made of only men. Until Susan B. Anthony says, what about me? Let me in. Let everybody, everybody in, everybody in. Circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody. Sometimes a circle is a privileged thing, excluding people for the color of their skin. Till the voice of Martin Luther King says, let freedom ring, let them in, let everybody in, everybody in, everybody in, circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody in, circle, circle. Gay and straight, rich and poor, whole and broken, open up that door. The more we are, the greater we become. After all, we all are one. Bring in the people, but don't stop there. Bring in the fish in the sea, birds in the air. Bring in the rivers wide and the mountains tall. We go together, not at all. Let everybody in, everybody in, everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 everybody into the circle, circle. Everybody, everybody in, everybody in the circle, circle. Everybody, 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 circle, circle.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome. Welcome to First Universalist Church of Minneapolis, where we have been gathering for over 160 years to proclaim the good news that you are beloved, that you are important, that you, just as you are, are welcome and part of an ever-expanding circle of love and care and connection. And not only have we been proclaiming that message to the world, we've been sending you out to share it too, so that through our actions, we transform the world toward the beloved community that we carry in our hearts. Friends, this is who we are. This is the life of faith that we invite you into, a life where we protect the light in each and every heart, where we add our voices to the chorus, singing the songs of justice, dancing the dance of liberation, where we work to end oppression in all its forms in our hearts, in our institutions, and in the wider world. 160 years, folks. 160 years. And we are here this morning to celebrate and rededicate this building that is our current home in the world, a building that holds but cannot possibly contain all that we are, as we gather today to remind ourselves who we are and what we are about, as we gather today to thank our ancestors for their vision and determination, and as we rededicate ourselves to the internal renovation that our church makes possible. It is good to be here. It is good to be together. So let us get to the practice of community and the opportunities that come forth when we are being church together. One part of our practice as a community is caring for each other, and we do that in several ways. In the midst of this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we're caring for each other by masking in the building, by doing our best to maintain some space between our household groups, by asking for permission before going in for a hug. Basically, exhibiting the mindfulness of space that we have all learned so well these past many years. We will be singing in the sanctuary today. We will be masked while we do that. But if you would like some space where folks aren't singing, if you would prefer space that is more quiet, a little bit less crowded, there is a big screen with a live stream of the service down in the Commons room, and any of our ushers will be happy to help you find your way down there if that is what's right for you this morning. I also want to be sure to remind us that all of us is welcome in this church and in this sanctuary. That includes our littlest ones. You will notice that there are comfy gliders in various spots around the sanctuary. They are perfect for rocking little ones, so please use those. There is a kid-friendly spot back in the corner with some small tables and toys. And please don't worry if your little one makes noise. That is totally okay. The same is true for us older folks in the sanctuary. We live in bodies, and bodies have needs. Please take care of yourself. We have pew cushions, if that is what you need, if that is what would help. If your body needs to get up, to stand, to move around, to wave your hands in excitement and enthusiasm, if you need to dance, please do. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, waving your hands in excitement and enthusiasm. If you need to dance, please do. We need all of us, all of our parts in here in this sanctuary, everybody in. I also want to let you know about a couple of things this morning. First and foremost, we will be taking a photo of us after the service. Reverend Jen will give you directions on how to do that, but here's what I want you to know. The folks that have ice cream over in that tent over there that you may have seen when you came in, the folks with ice cream have very clear instructions not to serve a scoop if they do not hear the flashbulb and the shutter click. So please do not go right to the ice cream and the treats. Please go out to the front of the church on the steps there, take the photo, and then we'll have some treats. And on the topic of treats, did you happen to see the tent over part of the parking lot on your way in? If you didn't, we now have covered outdoor space. Coffee hour will be out there today, along with ice cream if you're wanting something sweet, bagels if you want something savory, and more importantly, we have a tent. Huge thank you to Jim Poulter and the tent assembly crew for putting that up over the last couple of days. And while we're giving thanks, did you all notice the amazing new decorations on the chancel? It feels like the chancel burst into blossom about the same time as the world outside did. Huge, huge thank you to the visual arts team, and especially Meredith Sims for making this possible. Yeah, big thank you to them. I also want to let you know that First Step, our introduction to Unitarian Universalism, it's a class that's usually held on the first and third Sunday of the month, is canceled this morning so that all of us can go outside to take that photo. In the meantime, what I want you to know is that we would love to connect with you. If you are new-ish to this congregation and want to learn a little bit more, just head on over to our website, find the visitor card that's on the website, fill that out. We will follow up with you. We would be thrilled to connect with you and help you get more connected. Also, next week, this is super important, next week's service, one service only, 10 a.m. at Minnehaha. One service, 10 a.m., Minnehaha Falls. If you come here at 9 o'clock, you will probably see some of us getting ready to go over to Minnehaha Falls for the 10 o'clock service, so you will be right on time. If you come here at 11, you will be out of luck. So, 10 o'clock next week, Minnehaha. Information on this will be in the Liberal and on the website. And last, but far from least, will you all please join me in welcoming again our guest musician this morning, Peter Mayer. Peter, your music is near and dear to us, and Blue Boat Home, which we will be singing later, is the unofficial anthem of our youth group. We're so glad you're here with us. Yes, exactly. And now, friends, as we gather for worship, let's let go of the words for a moment. Let's settle ourselves with 3 deep breaths. Arriving in this time and place, I invite you to take a breath in and slowly let it out. And another breath in. And slowly let it out. And one more breath in. Letting it out slowly. As we come together here in this sanctuary that has held our congregation for 30 years. Here in this sanctuary that was once home to a Jewish congregation. Here on land that was and is still home to indigenous people. Here on this land that holds and tells many stories, layer upon layer upon layer, may we remember that we are but stewards of a place for a short time. That in this time, we receive the past with all its painful contradictions and promising aspirations so that we can take responsibility for the whole, can heal what we can, what is ours, and shape the present in the direction of freedom and liberation for the future. Come, let us worship together. And I invite Alice and Will to lead us in lighting our chalice.
Please join me in saying the words for lighting our chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Well, how about a story? Yes! All right, so kiddos, on your way in, you may have received a secret classified document. Now is the time to put that secret classified document close by, nearby, ready to read from it, ready to help us with our story. All right. So, our story starts a long, long time ago. Way back in the dark ages, 30 years ago of the 1990s. We had a problem here at church. You see, we owned a building not too far from here, over on the corner of 50th and Girard, and that building was good for a whole lot of things. It was a spiritual home for a lot of people. In fact, it was a spiritual home for so many people that the building was bursting at the seams. Our church was holding 3 services on Sundays, and there were so many kids and families coming that the church rented out the community center across the street, and religious education classes were meeting everywhere, including in people's living rooms who just happened to live near the church. See, there just wasn't room for everybody to come in. Now, at first, this felt good. People were coming to church. They were looking for this message of love and hope that we share. They were coming to find a community where they could feel a sense of belonging and connection so that they could take those feelings out into the world. The church services got fuller, the classes got bigger, and the congregation was really excited about what was happening. But, of course, with all those people coming, it was hard too. There wasn't always room when you showed up. People weren't able to be all together very often, and folks were starting to wonder who was going to have to be the really unlucky one who would be there at the door, seeing people or having people come in and be the one who had to say, "Sorry, there's no room for you here." Exactly. Now, I have to wonder if even 30 years ago, somehow the people of the congregation of that time, and you're here, some of you, maybe you can tell me, were you already hearing the echo of the Christmas pageant that happens here every year, where Mary and Joseph come down that aisle and they turn to everyone and they're saying, "Please, I'm about to give birth. Don't you have any room? Please, my beloved is pregnant and about to have a baby. Where can we go?" Right. I mean, we tell this story every year. Where's the room? Where's the compassion? Maybe the folks of 30 years ago were already hearing that. Now, luckily, our spiritual ancestors of 30 years ago knew this situation for the problem that it was. Now, they didn't like it that there wasn't room for all the children and families and adults who wanted to join in. They didn't like it that most of the building was inaccessible if you had any mobility challenges, and hardly anybody could find the front door. The people of our congregation decided that the church had to move. We had to move into a space that would be more welcoming and accessible and inclusive for everyone. So they raised the money and found the right place, and finally in 1993 they did it. They found this place that was bigger than any of them could have imagined. A whole building just for religious education and our kids and families, a sanctuary that could seat more than 500 people, a parking lot for folks with mobility challenges and small kids, and an elevator to help everyone get up into the sanctuary? Now, are any of you here that were here at that time? Look at you. Look at you. So together, these folks and so many others, they walked and marched and rolled all the way from the spiritual home over at 50th and Girard to here, carrying our chalice, literally carrying the flame of our faith into a new space, celebrating with bubbles on the front steps and a photograph you can see out in the narthex, taking time to notice together that they were doing something big. They were making more room, drawing the circle wider, planting themselves closer in to our city so that everyone they could imagine could find their way in. They had made our spiritual home more welcoming and inclusive and accessible. right? So then, almost 30 years later, here we are, taking a moment to say thank you to our past selves. Thank you to all of those folks who, with their dedication to our mission, helped us to keep on becoming a church of the open door, a circle wide enough to hold us all, a love that will not let us go. Yes. And we are celebrating our present selves. All of us here, all of us who have been part of this project to change our church, all of us who are here, part of this ongoing project. Yeah, I'm way off my script. This ongoing project of saying, welcome in. Yay! So all of us here, we are dreaming of a space that can be even more welcoming and inclusive and accessible to all. We worked together and we have created an accessible chancel and main entrance. We've made changes so that people who have difficulty hearing can participate more fully in the life of the church. We've added live streaming technology so people can join us wherever they are. Maybe you want to wave to all the people on Zoom. We know you're with us. We've added an accessible playground outside. Yes. We've honored the land and the history of this space, restoring the building to its original beauty, while at the same time transforming it from a space that was never affectionately called an energy sinkhole into a building that actually creates some of its own electricity. We have made room, and now folks are at the doors. They are there welcoming each other in online and our podcasts on our YouTube channel, saying, welcome, come on in. Everybody in. So we have so much to celebrate today. It is so important for us to pause and notice, to thank our past selves, to thank our present selves for all of the work we have done to get right here. To celebrate as we open the doors of the building, of our space and presence online and outside, as we open the doors of our hearts over and over again. You all will help us keep on changing too. That is one of the best parts of this story, I think. I'm way off script, so just hang with me. When I met up with many of the folks who made the decision to move to this building 30 years ago from the space over on Girard, somebody in that group said, when I was saying, hey, we've made this space more welcoming and inclusive and accessible, somebody in that group that helped make the move said, we thought we did that 30 years ago. And they did. They made a huge leap forward in being welcoming and accessible and inclusive. And we have made a huge leap forward in being welcoming and inclusive and accessible. And there are more leaps and more leaps for us to take. And we will learn them as we go, thanks to the relationships we create together, the questions we ask, and the ways we open our hearts. So this is the beginning, or the continuation rather, of a journey we are all on together, where we can finally say that we are welcoming everybody in. Yes. All right, that's the story for today. It's a pretty good story you guys wrote. So this is the time where I get to say, wherever we are, whether we are at home or out on a run listening or out in the religious education classrooms or wherever we are, right here in the sanctuary, we are engaged in the work of transformation and spiritual growth. So I invite our kids and our teachers who are heading to their religious education classes to go engage in their spiritual growth outside and in the classrooms that are beautiful. And for those of us who are staying put, let's take a moment to truly welcome each other in. So go ahead, maybe even find somebody you've never met before, introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm really glad you're here. What brought you in today? Welcome in. I'm wondering about one of us.
bringing the congregation back so that Peter doesn't have to. Yeah. Unless he does, but.
So I want to invite you to wrap up your conversation, or rather hold that thought, and you can continue it when you are enjoying some ice cream or a bagel or a cup of coffee. Don't make me start singing, because that would be a really terrible way for me to round you all up. Thank you. So Peter is gonna move us into a time of prayer with some music.
I'd like to invite you all to join with me in a moving meditation which inspired this next song. So it was first a meditation, and I'd like to teach you the very simple hand gestures for it, and then afterward I'll sing it and invite you to do those while I'm singing. So it's called Breathe In. So it's a breathing meditation, and it begins like this. Hands open to the day. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in. Breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light. Hands branches catching rain. Breathe in. Breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain, and then you bring your hands down and very slowly rise them up while you're breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, and then you're up to the top again, arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth, and again, eyes lifted to the light, to the light. And then we end where we began. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, I'll sit down and I'll sing, and I invite you all to join with me if you like. Open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then sun's branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out, then rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out, arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth, eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Dear ones, I invite you into a space of prayer and meditation if you are not already there. This time of prayer is like a little oasis in the busyness of our lives.